Once there was a man, his name was Arthur. He was a big-time collector of the weird and fascinating, specifically toys, knickknacks, and rare robots. He had spent nearly 30 years building up a collection of this stuff. It was so much that in 1990, he bought a small building to house his collectibles, and even show it off to the public for a small fee. It was now 1993. He had just gotten word that Candy's Burgers and Fries had closed down for good, and that it would be reorganized to a company that focuses on video games and toys. This was his chance to get his hands on the animatronics. Unfortunately, most of the machines were still under ownership of the company as instructed by the owner, in which they were shipped off to a factory. He did manage to speak to the owner, however, about acquiring some of them. Those being a prototype candy by the name of Sugar, a small robot version of a plushie by the name of Sour, and his grand prize, the rat. He remembered going to the short-lived Rat and Cat Diner as a child. He loved the rat, so when he heard they had the original robot in custody, he had to have it. He told her to name her price, and she quickly agreed. Due to the robot's age and damage after it was reportedly shut down by the technician, it was sold off for $10,000. He also managed to get the other two robots for just $1,000. He had put them on their own stage in a makeshift dining room in the back of his museum of collectibles. He managed to even make Sugar and Sour performable. The rat never budged, but this wasn't an issue. For 12 years they remained at this estate, blowing the minds of tourists who visited. However, in 2005, something happened as he was closing up. He suddenly heard a noise coming from the back room where he put the robots up. When he went to investigate, he saw that the rat was gone. He believed a robber had come in to get the robot, so he pressed a button that put the place on lockdown, exactly what the rat wanted. Arthur then heard a voice talking to him. They asked where Charles was. Surely a collector such as himself would get the rat and cat set, he continued. Arthur demanded to know who it was who broke in. They responded with no one. It was then the rat revealed himself to be the one talking and active. The rat continued on, remarking how he managed to stay asleep for 12 whole years, and that his collection was very impressive and full of dangerous mechanics. Arthur ran off in fear. How was the thing moving? Alive. The rat had been stalking him, looking for him, all the while destroying cases and doing something to the robots, asking where Charles was. Arthur didn't understand, but at the moment he didn't care. All he cared about was getting out and deactivating this clearly deadly robot. His window of opportunity opened. The hall was there with the emergency exit in sight. Suddenly he heard many of his robotics and toys spring to life, all having a white glow in their eyes. They were coming after him. He booked it to the exit, hoping it would open, but it didn't. As he tried, the robots slowly inched their way down the hall, with Rat at the end of it. He remarked that he shouldn't be messing with things he doesn't understand and keeping him away from Charles. He said goodbye to Arthur as the robots ripped him apart. The next day he would be discovered, mangled beyond recognition, with a dead rat robot in the corner of it all. In the coming weeks the items would be sold off to public auction, and the rat animatronic would be shipped to the Candy's production factory, then finally decided by the owner to be shipped off to the old factory with the rest of the robots to rot. And as for Arthur, doomed to wander the halls of Candy's wherever it goes. And that's the story of Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Come back to me again sometime and maybe I will tell you another story.